Well, here we have a PTO clutch housing that's off of a John Deere 60. And my understanding is something very similar to this is used on a lot of the two-cylinder tractors, starting with like the John Deere 40 and on up through the John Deere 830 before it was discontinued and something else took its place. And what happened was this tractor that's been in my family now for about 65 years, the bolts loosened up right here and a lot of the oil leaked out of that housing, and we weren't paying attention to it, and all of a sudden the PTO stopped working. And so we pulled it off the tractor. There's 4 forward facing cap screws through those holes there down below. Another one behind that drill press vise, and 4 rearward facing cap screws that come out of the frame of the tractor and go into those holes. And so it's held on with 8 cap screws, and they just came loose. The oil leaked out, and then bad things happened. So I'm getting ready to replace this. I got a price from John Deere to actually do this work, and it was, I think, $1,500. And the whole tractor's worth maybe $3,000. So I thought, well, you know, maybe I'll dive into this, try to figure it out. And the parts that are going to go into that, I've kind of sourced them from a whole bunch of different places. This is actually the new brake plate, I think it's called. It's got facing on both sides. You can see it's good. It actually fits right down in there. I've got new seals, 2 new seals for it. They go up in here, and I've actually had this all apart already, so I kind of know a little bit what to expect. And those seals are bad up there. I got a couple of new, actually they call them clutch plates right here. And it's a big heavy duty piece that fits on each end of the clutch, and one right there and one right there. I've got new clutch discs. These came, both those and those came from Steiner, and it takes 6 of these, and they're in that area there. These drive discs actually are just flat steel plates. You can buy them, but I looked them over, and about the only thing I need to do is maybe deburr them a little bit. Right now you can see that the clutch is in an engaged position. So grabbing a hold of the PTO shaft and turning it, it works just fine. And if you're going to take this off the tractor, I guess I would recommend that you take it off with the clutch in an engaged position. You're likely to get less parts falling out of the back end of it that way. These little brass forks, or shoes, whatever you call them, they fit in the fork assembly, one on each side, the other one over there. And when you grab the lever on your Model 60 PTO and pull it upwards, it moves this assembly right here that way, and applies spring pressure to all of those parts, and the clutch engages, and then you've got power going to the shaft there. Now when you push that lever down and you disengage, then this moves back that way, and this brake comes into play, and it stops this PTO shaft from moving. So we'll take this apart and see if we can help some people out with it that might need to do some work someday. Also, Steiner's got a really good set of videos on the 2-cylinder PTOs, and I got a lot of good information off of there as well. I thought I'd show you how to disengage the clutch before I start taking this apart. John Deere calls this part right here the collar, and it moves back and forth to engage and disengage the clutch pack right there. And put a screwdriver kind of each side of that and give it kind of that to get it started, and then go into it with a bigger bigger, better crowbar, and maybe a pair of vice grips too. See that that whole collar assembly snaps kind of over center. These balls are in there. Those are something that might fall out on you if you take this off the tractor with it in the disengaged position. Now, one thing you'll notice with this collar back there, the brake comes into play, and the pressure is against this brake plate and the back side of the cam disc that you can't see. It's in behind here now. And now when I try to turn this, I'm trying to turn it right now, it won't turn at all. So that's the difference between an engaged and disengaged collar right there. And the way you change that again is I actually use some bigger crowbars, kind of one on each side, and you can push that back the other way and re-engage it. One thing you'll notice now is all of this stuff is loose. You'll notice that these drive discs, they'll move around quite a bit on you. That's why you want to, when you put it back in the tractor, you want to have the clutch in an engaged position. So we'll start taking it apart now.